Hello, everyone. Welcome to Luis Santos podcast. It's been a long time that I've not done a podcast, and the reason being is from my new move that I have made this move from Leeds to Manchester, and now I have come to Manchester after 13 years working in Leeds, and as you guys know, moving it's not easy. It takes time and it's been a long journey. I literally had to close my studio in Leeds so I could focus just in Manchester. So yeah, I'm finally feeling like I'm getting settled here. I found a I found an awesome place to work, and I'm so happy to be here. And that's my first podcast, Luis Santos podcast in Manchester. And I could not work for someone better to be with me. I could not ask for someone better to be with me because this guy here, Carlos, my friend from a long time ago,
2007.
2007, we met. Carlos is from Chile, and he's South American, and of course I'm from Brazil, and we met in 2007 in Manchester, and then we became friends since. But then of course I moved to Leeds. He stayed around here, but then after 13 years we stayed in touch. We
We
stayed in
need to
touch,
stay
yeah.
in touch, yeah.
We stayed in touch for 13 years. He came to Leeds a few times, and I saw him here a few times, but when I moved back to Manchester, I felt like we were both going through similar situations, and we kind of met up again after 13 years.
Yeah.
And he was in a similar, he was in a similar situation that I was, and I felt like we met again after 13 years, and it felt like we'd never been apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, mad, isn't it? That's one thing about me and Carlos. It feels like, I might not see him for whatever, a year, 2 years, a few months, but every time I see him, it's like nothing. It's like the time hasn't gone past.
No, I don't know, man. I know. No,
That's
it's
the
mad.
good thing, I feel like we've evolved as a person, and every time I see him, we kind of evolve personally and spiritually and psychologically, and we like to discuss a lot of things. As more introduction about Carlos, he is a University of Bolton, right?
Yes, I work there at the off-campus division now.
Of Company Division. So what's your main work there? What do you do really?
Well, I've been doing a bit of everything, really. Started recruiting international students from Europe, and then I moved to student services, still working with international students, and now I'm in the off-campus division. So we're building campuses from the University of Bolton abroad.
Abroad, right? So your work really is to get in touch with students outside of the country,
Yeah, international students mainly.
international. So you're building a Bolton University outside of England, or you bring in the students to here
I
to
used to
England?
bring them to the UK, but the
Mhm.
off campus is more international students studying in their home country
Mhm.
under the University of Bolton supervision.
Right, I get it. I get it. So it's not gonna be. So is it gonna be a University of Bolton outside of the UK or not?
Well,
Or
some people that don't live in the UK, they rather study in their own country. You
right,
see?
okay, yeah.
Well, they want
The education from here.
they want
Right,
British
I get it. I
education.
get it. I get it. Right, I get it. No way. Yeah, that's a cool thing to do. I thought you were gonna be a teacher because knowing you, the way you are reading books, and I thought you were gonna be a teacher. If you were gonna be a teacher, what would you like to teach?
Well, I've been a teacher,
Been a
so
teacher.
I taught English as a foreign language,
Mm-hmm.
and then I taught linguistics in Chile, and I taught critical discourse analysis. I might come back to teaching one day. You never know. I finished my fourth degree this year, and now I'm going to start a PhD.
Wow.
So
PhD. So I'm not gonna see you then.
maybe maybe in 4 years I'll be teaching again. You never know.
I'm not seeing Carlos for 5 years now till he finishes his next course now. So one thing I was surprised about, because I've not seen you for a long time, and you've got your new place, and then one thing I've noticed, because I've known Carlos since 2007, so we were quite young, when we first met, and I was, of course, I was still me, but I was a different person back then. And one thing I noticed when I came to your house that you didn't have any video games, but you only had books.
Yes.
you know. And I was like, that's so cool because usually when I say Carlos, we used to get on the Xbox and playing football, which is cool as well. I do like it, but that was the first time that I went to Carlos' house and there was no video games, so we had no choice but to talk, which was good. And then because he only had books in his flat, we start talking about books and stuff like that, which is something that you had a passion of reading before me, right? Because when I first met you, I didn't really read.
Hmm.
You know, I was tattooing. I think I've only been tattooing for a few years. I've only started off, but reading was something that I picked up later on in life. So I feel grateful now because when I meet Carlos, we can talk about more stuff now because I like reading. So we do like to talk about all the different books that we have spoken about and what that we have read. And one thing that I do like about Carlos is how different we can think about how much you can debate
Hmm.
in a peaceful manner.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, you know, he's got one opinion, then I've got another, and I throw something at him, he throws something at me. But it's kind of in a good way, and we kind of challenge. I think, do you feel like we challenge each other psychologically?
Yeah, well, we've got different lines of thinking regarding spirituality, for instance.
Yeah,
Like, I've always followed a Christian sort of route regarding religion, but I think you're more esoteric now, right? So you believe in energy, that sort of.
yeah. I'm more like earth, energy, matter, frequencies.
Hmm.
But I think I find it all interesting, and I think everything makes sense. You know, I think deep down everything makes sense because I was brought up in a Christian country.
Hmm.
So of course, I'm from Brazil, so I
Catholic.
went I went to a private Catholic school when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and it was quite strict. And there was a church inside my school,
Hmm.
and every morning we had to pray. You know, there was an image of Jesus. Of course, you're just a kid and you don't know. I still appreciate Christianity and I understand it. However, as I grew older, I start to question it more.
What do you question about?
Just I don't discard the idea that Jesus exists because I think he did.
Right.
Some people they don't believe that he actually existed. Uh, I work with Swin. You know, talk about he owns the studio and he's a lovely guy. How I respect him a lot because he
Is he a
actually
what? Sorry.
I respect him a
No,
lot.
but you work with her.
I worked with Swin. He actually owns the
Swin.
show. Swin, yeah.
Oh, Swin is his name.
Swin is his
All
name.
right.
Yeah.
I,
Swin is
I
his
thought it was a
name.
religion or something. I heard swinger.
He is a
Right, so I thought, wow,
swinger.
why are we
He's
talking
not
about
swinger.
this?
I don't think he is. But anyway, Swin, he is the kind of guy he likes reading and he's read the Bible.
Yeah.
However, he doesn't agree with Christianism.
Mm.
However, I respect that because at least he read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like some people they never read the Bible and they kind of judge something that they never read. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I I saw a video that I sent to you, I think, and that video really got to me because I'm really into Egyptian mythology. I love that, and that is a spirituality as well.
Mm.
I wish there was a religion based on Egyptian mythology because I'll probably follow that because I
Mm.
believe a lot. I just love the Egyptian times, their spirituality, and how they came across life. You know, I think they were just so spiritual and they're just so beyond what we could ever think about. And there was a video, I think I sent you these videos, two African guys speaking. One was a Christian and one was an Egyptologist, Egyptian mythology guy. And the Christian guy was saying, oh, he was saying that the miracles that Jesus did, there was nothing to do with magic.
Mm-hmm.
And the Egyptian mythology guy said, look, miracle is magic. It has to do with that. Jesus, he said Jesus, he was a good student of the Egyptian times
Right.
because apparently Jesus disappears from the Bible at the age of 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he reappears at the age of 30.
Mm-hmm.
And that Egyptian mythology guy was saying that the reason why he disappears from the age of 12 is because someone wanted to kill him. He even said his name, I think it's Herdis, something like that. Someone wanted to kill him. So Jesus' mom and dad took him to Africa, to the Egyptian. That's how he learned to do all the miracles that he did.
Oh, that's interesting.
Jesus was a student of the Egyptian times, the Egyptian mythology. So knowing Christianism and looking into it and respecting it, when I heard that, I got even more into Egyptian mythology because I thought everything he did, it came from that. So really, what I find interesting is that nowadays, if you look in terminology, what Jesus was doing, the miracle he was doing, nowadays, how we say it is kind of like magic. But even the African guy, the Egyptian mythology guy, he even said the name of what Jesus did, which nowadays they describe the name of the magic is thaumaturgy.
Oh,
There's a name for it as well. So what I found the more interesting is thaumaturgy is what, if you look into it, people would say nowadays that's like witchcraft. It's mad, isn't it? So I think how something that people perceive as bad is probably something good that he did, that he used. Do you think Jesus did magic, or do you think it was actually miracle? What do you think? There's a difference to it?
well, I think that I want to believe in Jesus as the Catholic Church teaches.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with people thinking that Jesus was a magician in the good sense of the word,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm more interested in how people's relationship is with either Christianity or spirituality or whatever they think. Because in my head, I've got a combination of philosophy and religion.
I like
So
that.
it all depends on the school of thought that you follow. So, for instance, Hobbes was a British philosopher from the 1500s. So he would say that humans are born evil. So we're bad from when we're born, and we need to learn how to become a good person. So if you think of a child, for instance, if that child's characteristics would be that of an adult, you would think that the child is a narcissist because the child thinks that the child is the center of the world. So if you go to a supermarket with the child, oh, I want this, I'll
You
cry
said,
if you know.
Yeah.
So you need to teach the child how to become a good person. Then Rousseau, a French philosopher, said, no, we're actually good people, and we learn bad things from the environment.
Wow.
So if I turn the question to you, do you think we're inherently good or inherently bad when we're born?
Wow. That's an amazing question, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing question. I really like your question. Because that's the thing I like speaking about you, because you see it in a philosophical point of view, I see in a spiritual point of view, and I believe some people they're just born. The thing is, we are mammals, and only we judge what's good or bad.
Mhm.
So, do you know what I mean? So, what's good for me might not be good for you. What's bad for you might not be bad for me. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
So what's good?
there will be a
Society-
general
Dude.
sense that we both know what is good and what is
Yeah,
bad.
okay. Let's talk like that. I do believe some people they're born in Brazil. There's a saying that a tree that's born bent never grows straight.
Mm-hmm.
I love that saying,
Yeah.
and I think some people they're like that. They're just born bent.
How do you say it in Portuguese then?
Pau que nasce torto nunca se endireita.
No, yeah, we
Pau
got
que
a
nasce
similar one in
torto nunca se
Spanish.
endireita. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a tree that's born bent never goes back straight, and it's true. And I think some people just born like that. I think some people just born to be a psychopath, to be a to do bad. They can be cured. I think, but I think of course the longer you live, the harder it is to change. I think upbringing has to do with it as well. Say for instance, if someone is born when they have a chance to be a psychopath, but they brought up in a good family, the chances might go less.
Right.
But if someone has the traces to be a psychopath or do something bad, but they were brought up in an environment that increases the chance that to happen, I think there's more chance to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
that's my point of view.
Well, being a psychopath is sort of like a mental disorder, though.
Right.
So it's independent of if you're born in a good family or a bad family, because that's in you. But let's take personality traits aside: narcissists, Machiavellian, psychopaths, sociopaths. A normal person.
But why is a normal person to you though?
Well, a person that doesn't have a personality disorder.
Okay.
Are you born as a good person or as a bad person?
Me.
Inherently, anyone normal? Because those will be the two.
Of course, I can't remember much of when I was a child, but I've got a cousin who's older than me, and I was brought up with her, and she reminds me a lot of me when I was a kid. And apparently, I was not what I am now. I was very. She used to say to me, of course, I was loving the loving, but I was running and doing mischief stuff. You know what I mean? I've done as a kid. The stuff she tells me, I'm like, wow, I cannot believe I've actually done that.
Right.
However, I had an awesome grandma, and my grandma, she brought me up. My grandma, she showed me nothing but love. She didn't show me in a way that she showed me so much love that when I came to the real world, I was still loving. I didn't know anything else. It was only life teaching me that it's not just about love. But I was a person that I was just pure love because my grandma, she was an amazing mother to me, basically. If I had a bad upbringing, I think I could go in the wrong way.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know why. Of course, I'm 42 now. I'm more laid back. Even when I go back to Brazil, my friend said that you changed so much, more laid back. Even my teenage year, I was still getting into, I used to go to football matches, and after the matches, used to be chaos and stuff happened and
what
fights.
Team?
The Corinthians.
Corinthians.
Yeah, Corinthians team. Yeah, and sport as well up north. So I did stuff as a teenager that, thinking back, is like, man, wow, I would never do that now. Maybe England actually. I think England calmed me down a bit more. I think, yeah, because Brazil is so different. Brazil, man, is like people drink coffee and people are loud. It's so, the vibe is so different. England is more calm, more laid back. You get in a bus in England, usually people quiet. If you get in a bus in Brazil, people talk so loud, make you hear people laughing.
Yeah, same in Chile.
Yeah, in South America, I think England, it really really calmed me down a lot. Because when I go back to Brazil, some of my childhood friends, they say, "Wow, Luis, you seem a lot more calm," because life here is not easy. Life here, but it is a lot calmer than in South America.
Well, going back to the topic, if Jesus performed miracles or performed magic, it's irrelevant for me. I'm actually becoming a Catholic. I've always been a Christian. I'm becoming a Catholic.
What's the difference between Christian and Catholic?
Well, a Catholic is a Christian, or you could be a Mormon, or you could be a Jehovah's Witness or evangelist. But I'm sort of following the Catholic way now, and I believe that, for instance, the church is like a hospital, right? So
For people.
Yeah. So going back to, are you evil? Or are you good? I believe, and I respect everyone's opinion, I believe that because we are born in a human body, we're more likely
to be evil. Okay, yeah, I do get that.
So a church is just sort of like a hospital. You go to a hospital when you're sick, right? So you go to church because you don't want to be evil, right? So because given the chance, you would do evil things. That's why we have police. That's why we have law. If we were all good, then we wouldn't need law. We wouldn't need prisons. We wouldn't need.
You wouldn't need rules.
Yeah, because we'll all be doing good things.
I saw a video once, and it made me. I'm thinking about that because you was talking like that. I saw a video of a guy saying, right, kids, if they don't have any upbringing, you just put a lot of kids in one room and lock them there. They'll start scratching each other.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah.
Do you remember? I saw a video like I thought that's so true. That, man, if I was a kid and I was put in a small room with lots of kids, we'd be like pushing each other's heads.
Yeah. So I think at some point it was it a group of boys in a house and a group of girls in a house, and they'll study how they behave.
They tested it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the boys at some point there were two groups.
Yeah.
And they started fighting each other, and they chose a leader, and it was just a mess.
I do. So when you said that, I'm like, that makes so much sense because it's only your mom and dad who comes to you and teaches you, look, that's wrong, you don't do that. It's only the repetition of like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, that you finally, okay, I can't do this, I can't. Then you decide for yourself what is right and what is wrong.